Speaking
It's
of
like,
outrage, let's bring
do it.
Personer on and let's hear his argument because apparently he was
Can
talking to Moff on stereo before. Read
you
my
guys hear
book.
me?
Yeah, yeah, you're coming in loud and clear, buddy. What's up?
Well, yeah, I don't think I'm outraged, but
Okay.
I know you said that I misquote you, so I don't want to misquote you, Rich. I want to make sure that I got you correct before I say anything, because I was talking with Moff and we were kind of going back and forth a while back about some of the things you said. I agree with some of the things in the Unplugged Alpha, but a lot of things I find, like I said, very defeatist. So
Okay.
I guess you can let me know what you actually believe, I guess, in that aspect.
All right. So what items do you find defeatist, and what is your solution?
So the idea, and I like that you asked me my solution, but the idea is that oh, she's not yours, she's just your turn, or girls don't
Okay.
wait, or at the they wait at the finish line for men, and or she always has someone in the back burner. There's always someone in the
Okay. So
back.
let's deal with one at a time.
Yeah.
So let's
Okay.
deal with
So the first
one at
one
a
I'll
time.
go with
So
is she's not yours. It's just your turn.
yeah.
Mm.
So what's your solution to that?
So my solution is to kind of get out of that mindset where if she's yours, and make sure she's yours. I don't see any reason why to kind of whine about it and be like, well, she's just my turn. I'm not sure if she's gonna, stay with me, and more just be like, no, this is
Okay.
my
So let me
woman.
just stop there for a second. I'll let Moff and Jaren chime in as well
Yeah.
after I get my point. Oh, hold on a sec.
Oh, my bad.
It's my talking points. Let me just hit it first. You're talking about whining about it, and I'm curious to hear you explain when you've heard me whine about anything, because I'm the furthest thing from a whiner. There's people out there on YouTube that whine about shit all the time.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and not you generally, but there was actually a guy I saw you talk to, and he was claiming to be an alpha or whatever.
Mhm.
He was from Florida, and he was saying how his wife was a certain way. I don't know if you remember that conversation, but that kind, I feel like, obviously you're not going to whine about it, and I don't expect you to, but I feel like those who take that mindset kind of whine about it, if that makes sense. So I'm not saying you're whining about it, but
Okay.
to me, it has a spirit of kind of whining behind it.
Yeah. So look, man, like there's a demographic of men out there that are defeatists, that basically like the whole thing with Tom Brady and his divorce recently that was just announced this week. Like, you know how many DMs I got from guys that were like, hey, check out this article, look, if Tom can't make her happy, then what chance do I have, or some shit like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those are the losers, those are the defeatists. I'm not saying to whine about anything, and I certainly don't myself. I mean, I've never encouraged anybody to be a victim. In fact, I explicitly state many times in my book, don't be a victim, take ownership, be accountable, and do the damn work. But it's just accepting the reality of the world. It's like saying, well, the sun's hot. Okay, well, what are you going to do? You're going to find some shade. You're going to throw on some sunscreen. You're going to wear a long sleeve shirt. You're going to put a hat on. I'm not going to whine about it. I'm just going to say, the sun's hot. And a reality of relationships in, the human world is that they're not long-term pair bonded, till death do us part. Like, they're not particularly monogamous, which is why I say, generally speaking, if you're going to invite a woman in your life, just understand that she's probably not yours till death do us part. It's probably just going to be your turn, right? I'm not saying it's that case 100% of the time. Are there men and women that have gotten married, committed to each other for a lifetime, and died together and been each other's only one? Yeah. Does it happen today still? Very rarely anymore, so that's just a reality of the world. I mean, it's an inconvenient truth. I certainly don't think it's anything to whine about. I think it's just something to accept, that humans aren't very good at monogamy and don't stick around with each other for a very long time. I mean, divorce rates are 50%. They're 70% the second time round. Just about any woman that you meet, like, how old are you right now?
33.
Yeah, so just about any woman that you meet right now, is she a virgin when you meet her? Probably not. Right? So those are the points that I'm making.
Yeah, and I see that point. My thing is, when it comes to holding on to your woman, I think you need to kind of not have that mindset running through your mind, because you may think about it, hey, that's just the way the world is, and that's how you kind of have
No, that's
that.
plugged in thinking. Like, that's my point. Like, what I'm saying basically is, if you think that you can go to, basically go down to your knee, propose to a woman, give her a $20,000 piece of dinosaur shit that's compressed, and set up a big party, invite all these people, do the invitations, plan out the tables and the meals, and everybody comes over, and you take your vows till death do us part in sickness and health. Like, if you actually think that that is a commitment and it's long-term and it's forever, then why is the divorce rate 50%? And why is it that after 8 years that couples only report being in a state of love only 13% of the time, right?
Well,
like it's not a long-term, like even I, to this day in a relationship, in an LTR, I know that it could end, right? Like that's how I approach it.
Yeah, for me, I'm like, to heck with it. Like for me, I have like 20K ring. You're right. For me, I what I did, like I would say my proposal ring was like what, $1,000, right? Wedding bands were about 500, so I spent about $2,000 for the whole thing. Spent nothing much on the wedding, just courthouse wedding, stuff like that. And we weren't worried about, and I know what you mean, those big giant venues and all that. To me, that's insane, right?
Okay.
To me, it was just
you're focused on the wrong point, man. But it's not what we're talking about. See,
I'm not done. I'm kind of building up to the point. So I understand if you don't let me finish, you might not get that, but I'm building up to it. So my thing is this: put all your focus on keeping your woman and all in those things, not necessarily trying to wine and dine her. Now, did we go out to expensive places to eat? Probably you would call them expensive. We're from New York, so it's probably not as expensive as where I am now in Ohio. But we went out and did those things, but we put in the work of building the relationship together. So not just kind of like, this is just a girl that I'm dating or that I'm kicking with. This is somebody that I'm planning on being married. I'm vetting her, and we're going to be married for long term. I'm not going to expect her to go out and run out on me because.
Are you married right now, or are you just engaged right now?
Yeah.
Sorry?
That's not. Yeah, I'm married right now. That's not the woman that I'm going to dedicate my life to. I'm going to make sure.
Okay, so you're not married, but you're talking as if you were.
No, I am married.
Oh, you are married. Okay, so how long have you been married?
Married about 10 years or 9 years. Together 10, married 9.
Okay, and was your girlfriend a virgin when you met her?
Well, your
wife, but was she a virgin when you met her?
No.
No. Okay, so that point just exemplifies what I'm talking about. Like, you weren't her first. You weren't her first and only. She had been with other guys, right? So the first guy that she was with might have thought, oh, she's mine because I've committed to her and she's my girlfriend, and probably had the same level of thinking. If I take her out and treat her well and think that it's forever, that it'll last forever. But that theory was violated, and now she's with you, right? So to suggest that it's a whinge or a whine is a little bit disingenuous, because it's just a statement of fact. I mean, let's say you make it work. Let's say that you guys are together, till death do you part, sort of thing. Awesome, good for you. But on the balance of probabilities, for most people today, they're not just going to marry their first and be with their first. And in fact, you weren't with her, right?
Well, yeah, and to me, that's what I'm saying. It's not about the sexual thing or anything. Oh, well, did you sleep with her before and all that, or whatever it may be. It's not about that's not what keeps a woman. Like, sleeping with her, obviously, is not one of the things that's going to keep your woman. You have to make sure you are the man that you need to be for her, and that she is the woman that you want to marry.
Okay, but how many guys have you heard call into my show and had been I'll give you a really good example. So Monday night on the Unplugged Alpha, I got a guy lined up who lives in British Columbia, and his Ukrainian wife, which I think he met in Eastern Europe, has now taken his kids, stolen them from him, and he legitimately had the same position that you did. Till death do us part. I commit to her. I do the right thing. I provide. I'm a good husband. And she went off, porking some other guy, and left him and took the kids. And now he's fighting to see his own children. He's out of money and he's over his head in debt, right? Like, it's not a particularly realistic position to, just to say that if I'm good to her and I take care of her and I'm a nice guy and I, remove uncomfortable truths from my belief system, that things are just going to work out. Because what ends up happening is a lot of these guys that believe that end up putting things like nooses around their necks, or you can even, find the video somewhere on my channel where I had a Mexican veterinarian who was ready to jam a horse tranquilizer dart in his leg and end his life because of what happened with his life, because she violated that safe world theory that, if you just commit and you're with her and you're a good guy, that everything will be fine. I want guys to wake up to the reality of life and just understand that, things aren't what you think they are, right? Like, that's what the whole process of unplugging is, right? So the reason why you have some difficulty with it is because it's uncomfortable for you, because you don't want to think that she can bounce on you.
No. I think that's very simplified. What I'm saying, it's not about being a nice guy. You still have to, and this is what I mean. To me, you have to lead your home, whether you want to call it alpha or whatever it may be.
I'm on the same page with you with that.
Yeah, you have to lead your home. You have to lead your wife. You have to lead your woman, right? It's not just, it's like, no, you're not going out and doing stuff like that. It's not like, oh, well, I'm just going to be a nice guy and hopefully she doesn't. No, it's nothing like that. It's way more to it than that. I think it's an oversimplification. And it's not pushing away inconvenient truths. I'm all about inconvenient truths and convenient truths. I think.
Well, you're calling an inconvenient truth whining.
Well, no. To me, the whining part is if you're going to say, well, I'm just going to be a nice guy and she's just going to, stay with me. And, oh, well, actually, no, even though I'm a nice guy, it's not my turn. It's just my turn. And I just have to wait around and see what happens. No, it's not about being a nice guy. It's about being a leader and saying, no, you're not. You're done. You're done running around and sleeping with guys. That's how.
So if I can paraphrase, just so I understand. Yeah. So what you're saying is, if you remove that belief and you do all the right things in your marriage, then everything should be fine. And
no, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is,
maybe you can clarify.
Yeah, I'll clarify. What I'm saying is that you tell your woman, right? You say, hey, look, if she's one of those women that are running around, you think she's cute, and you want to marry her, or whatever, maybe you want to be with her. You say, hey, look, you're done with the sleeping around and the other guys, right? For my wife, I didn't have to do that. She was young when we first met. We were both young when we first met, right? So we didn't have that experience of a whole bunch of guys sleeping around and all that stuff and all this craziness. We just met and we dated. She had a past, and that was it, right? So I didn't have to kind of lay down the law necessarily and be like, you're done. But if I had to, I would. And there are things in our marriage, we've been married for almost 10 years, where I've had to say, we're done with this. We're not doing this here. We're not doing this thing. We're not doing that thing. So you lead just like you would lead your children, you lead your family. I know some people may think this is a problem, but I do see as a tier system, I think that it's men, women, children, right? And so you have, as a man, you have to lead your spouse. And if she is the one going around doing certain things, and even if somehow she goes off the rails and she goes off with that, you got to say, hey, look, we're done with this, right? And you got to lead that. So that's, to me, is my mindset. It's not saying, oh, inconvenient truth. Like if she's the type of woman that's sleeping around, first of all, there's probably another woman you want to be with. Now, if she is the woman that's sleeping around and you really want to be with her and you really want to, work things out, I don't suggest you do it. Like I said, like I told with Ma, spend time with women that are not sleeping around like that. There are women out there that are like that. It's not the world.
All right, so
so let's give
Moff and Jaron an opportunity.
I want to, because here's what it sounded like to me. I think we agree far more than we disagree. I think that what I'm hearing, this is the equivalent of what we call like a natural alpha who shits on like PUA in game. Like, you understand this stuff at a fundamental level, that it's pertinent that you be the leader and you take charge and be the man in your household and do the things necessary to keep your wife attracted to you, keep her by your side, all that kind of stuff. Everybody on this panel is fully behind that. We talk about that stuff all the time. Now, the rub becomes, there's so many guys, the vast majority of guys out there think that put the ring on the finger, the baby in the belly, the house over the head, the dog in the yard, she's yours forever. And now you get to spend your Sundays in your lazy boy watching football, eating chips, drinking beer, right? So that's like, I think we agree more than that's what's happening here. You're basically coming on and saying, hey, when we're saying like, hey, most guys need game because most guys can't get laid. And you're like, no, bro, just be confident, right? That's kind of what's happening. Like, you get it at a fundamental level. So it's totally fine for you to reject this premise. Like, well, it's not my turn with my wife. She's my wife forever. Because, do you know why? Because you're doing the work and you're doing the things that are going to keep her, or ensure that you keep her to best of your ability. We don't know. We can't predict the future. We have no idea what's going to happen. All we can do is give ourselves the best shot that we can possibly give ourselves. So we're far more on the same page than we're not. But I think that's where we are. I think we agree more than we disagree.
Jared?
Yeah, from the get-go, I was just going to ask what your dating experience was like, but in the banter between you and Rich, that came out of you. But you did mention that you're married a bit younger. One, congratulations for having like a happy, healthy marriage. I know, if we're being honest, a lot of guys in this space, that's what they really want, actually.
Yeah.
I was in that camp too, grew up real conservative, and then like Rich laid out the scenario, what usually happens, I let my game slip a bit and she was gone. So I think probably more than follow-up questions for you, I just have a word of advice for younger guys. If you get married really, really young, and neither of you have that dating experience, that's great. I think that does lead to higher likelihood of the marriage lasting. But you also have to realize that as you go through different life stages, that And especially the outside influencers upon her, you have to really make sure you don't let your game slip, and you have to be on top of who she's hanging out with, who she's talking to, what's her coworkers like, what is her work environment like, because you could be the rock solid man in the house all you want, but if she's coming home at 6, 7, 8 p.m., you're cooking dinner real quick, you're watching a couple hours of TV, going to bed, and then she's up taking the kids to school, doing that again, and you really don't have that one-to-one FaceTime to nurture that relationship and reestablish that fact that I am indeed the man, and then she goes and works for a man for 8, 9, 10 hours a day, then those outside influences could be potentially harmful to your relationship. So I'd say that's probably just a word of advice.
Yeah. And
all right. So let's go to the next point. So what was the other one that you had?
No, yeah. Okay. So then just the idea, what was it? The women don't choose men. Sorry if I'm quoting at this point, but they wait at the finish line and they pick the winner or something like that.
Yeah, women don't care about your struggles. They wait at the
Right.
finish
She doesn't
line
care
and
about
pick
your
the winner.
struggles.
All that is that just summarizes what Evo Psych discovered, is that men compete, women choose. So the issue with that was?
No, to me, I guess I don't see it that way. And even if let's say that is
You don't
the
think
way,
that you were competing for your wife?
in a sense, yes. But what I want to make
sure.
Yeah, what I want to say too is that, like I said, going back to that mindset of just, it's not that you're ignoring the inconvenient truth. It's like, okay, sure, that whatever, yeah. I kind of like what Scott was saying. Like, you need to step your game up. Don't let your game slip. I guess it's like, this is the type of man you need to be, regardless. It's like, you don't need to, because if you're just trying to be the winner and you're doing the right things and but you're still not leading. Like, maybe a woman is going to slip out on you, but I don't know what that would look like, because
okay, but I don't understand what the disagreement is with men compete, women choose, or that women wait at the finish line and pick the winner. They don't care about your struggles, because there's this like age-old notion from the Mano Swamp where you hear a lot of these dudes that are all like, hypergamy doesn't care about you losing your job, you whatever, like whatever difficulties come your way, women don't have a lot of patience and tolerance for guys. So one of the plugged in narratives that a lot of guys subscribe to, which I don't think serves guys, is when they start to take the hook, line, and sinker of in sickness and health, in richness and poorness, and like, it's implying that it doesn't matter what your condition is, a woman will always be there for you. But the fact of life is that women divorce men something like 8 or 9 times out of 10. They leave marriages 8 or 9 times out of 10. And as a guy that spent a lot of time dating divorced women after I got divorced myself, all I heard when I asked them questions about why they're no longer with their husband: he was a loser, he was a beta, he was dumb, he was incompetent, he couldn't keep a job down, he wasn't a good provider, he was depressed and locked himself in his room. And all these women left these guys for those reasons. And then I started looking at Evo Psych studies, and I'm like, holy shit, it's actually a statement of fact that men compete and women choose from the men that compete. So when I say they don't care about your struggles, they hang out at the finish line and pick the winner, I don't see the problem with that. And I'm waiting to hear what you have a problem with that.
About 5 years of our marriage, probably even the beginning of our marriage, I was really sick. I had fibromyalgia, hypoglycemia. I was really, really sick. Now I'm a lot healthier now. Reversed everything by the grace of God. I believe it was a miracle of God. I'm back to being a personal trainer. Everything is, physically, everything is great. And so, but my wife was there when I was sick. I mean, I had rhabdomyolysis, and she, had a bun in the oven while I'm in the hospital, right?
Okay, so she was pregnant too.
Yeah. So,
okay. Well, look, man, not every chick is going to abandon a guy that she's married to when she's pregnant. Some will, some won't. Yours happened to stick around and, nurse or help you back to health, or nurse you back to health, or do the right thing. Not all women will do that, though. And given the opportunity, if she may not have been pregnant or a better guy may have come along, she may have bounced on you.
So because
you don't think that she might have done something like that?
I was sick even before she was pregnant. So here's the thing. Here's what I'm trying to say, right? This puts in a mindset for these young men out there that would think, oh man, I can't get sick. I can't, if I get laid off,
what I'm saying, dude.
Nothing can happen to me, because if I do,
no.
Gonna bounce out
That's
on
not what I'm saying at all. It's just a statement of human nature that men need to compete and women choose from the men that actually compete, and that marriage is no buffer to keep that union together. Look, if if a woman has an opportunity to improve her circumstances and you're not getting better or improving your circumstances within a determined period of time, on a balance of probabilities, she's probably going to leave that marriage. We know that for a fact based on marriage stats.
I just don't see as a young
Okay,
man.
so for you,
that,
for you, it didn't go that way, right?
Right.
Fine, cool, awesome. I'm very happy for you.
Thank you. But
I've got another question for you. Prior to your marriage, and this is one of the first ones I was going to ask, what was your experience like with women prior to marriage? Like, did you have a pretty high notch count? And I know guys in the space like, oh, it doesn't matter. Well, it does matter. Like, if I'm going to take advice on how to be a home run hitter, I'm going to ask Aaron Judge over the guy that lives next door and has never laced up a pair of cleats and stepped on the field. So what's your experience like? Like, do you have enough volume to safely make these assumptions, or to come and say that, oh, I don't agree with this, because you've put in the work and gotten the reps out of women, I guess, so to speak.
so my mind, so this is like the mindset that I think is wrong. Is like, oh, that is the main and be all and end all, like putting in the reps, getting a body count, and all this stuff. I mean, like I said, I married young, so I wasn't, sleeping around with women. Did I talk to women? Yeah. Was I able to like talk to somebody if I wanted to? Stuff like that, To me, it wasn't about body counts or notch counts or anything like that. And I think that's where the issue is. I think it's just a different pool of human beings that we're hanging out with, right? Like if Rich brought up the divorced woman that he talked to, he was saying like, oh, what kind of guys you were dating? Oh, they were losers, they were this, they were that. First of all,
not dating, but married to, like,
or married
to,
right? Yeah, I wouldn't be right. I wouldn't be around women that would talk about a man like that. One, second, I wouldn't.
Well, the woman you marry is not the woman that you divorce.
I understand. Hold on. And second, if I was a woman, I wouldn't be around a man that has the propensity to lock himself in a room and just, do whatever,
but you're not a woman, and the woman that you marry is not that you divorce. Like, circumstances change over time in marriages, right?
Granted, my point is, though, the people that are being spent time with, women and men, to me, I feel like it's just a different pool. It's a different pool of people that you have to spend time with. If you're going to spend time with women that talk about men like that, I wouldn't even be in the same room with a woman that talks about men like that. Do
you think that any of those divorced women spoke about their husbands on the engagement night, during the wedding ceremony,
of course not.
when they gave the speech at the wedding in front of 300 people? Do you think any of them spoke that way about their husbands?
Of course not.
No, but because they failed in their eyes, they have to disparage them to justify why they left the union.
Fair enough. But what I'm trying to say is that, let's say you were talking to that woman, right? And she said you were dating her, right? And she said, oh, he was a loser, he was this, he was that. In my mind, I'd be like, this is probably not a woman I should be hanging out with, talking about a man in that way. And maybe
it's a red flag. It's in my red flag chapter, and that's why I discontinued any association.
Okay,
with
good. And I thought maybe it was a paraphrase. Maybe she said that, but if she's saying those words exactly, that's not a woman you want to spend time with.
Absolutely.
She would be discreet, maybe saying, okay, something happened and this and that. That will be more of like, okay, yeah, okay. Maybe you both can translate in your mind and never say it out loud. Yeah, he's a loser. He locked himself in the room. All this blah blah blah. But if she's talking like that, which I don't want to belabor the point because you kind of agree with me, but the point is, for me, it's just a different type of pool. Like, I wouldn't want to go up to a.
You understand there's some nuances though here with a lot of the stuff that I talk about. Like there's no completely black and white, answer to everything. What I'm providing men with is tools to understand the reality of human nature when they engage into life, when it comes to making money, when it comes to dealing with women and stuff like that. Like you said, you're a personal trainer, right?
Yeah.
Like, you probably have to go through some conversations about, well, some of that stuff that's in your pantry is not going to align with your goals. Right. So if you want to get these goals, you're going to have to stop putting this shit in your face. Right? So, but I can guarantee you, when I was 20 years old, I could have eaten whatever I wanted and been jacked as shit. Right. So there's nuances, but the reality is if you want to get the body that you want, if you want to look the way that you want, like, the magazine models and stuff like that, you're going to have to lift the weights. You're going to have to eat, a good diet, and you're going to have to sleep. Do you have to sleep 9 hours, or do you have to sleep 8.5 hours, or do you have to sleep 6.5 hours? The fact of the matter is you're going to have to get sufficient sleep. So when I'm saying things like, men compete, women choose, or that women don't care about your struggles, they hang out at the finish line and they pick the winner. On a balance of probabilities, it's right almost all of the time. Hey guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that short clip. If you did, consider supporting the creation of content by checking out my supplement line. Pinned in the top comment below of this video in the comments, there's a link to the unpluggedalpha.com/shop. When you click through, you'll be able to land over here, and the entire lineup is broken down by category that it performs best in: estrogen metabolism, fat burning, your foundational essentials for health, immune health, performance, and testosterone support. If you check out with coupon code ALPHA10, you'll get 10% off on your first order. There's also the option to use the subscribe and save model, where regular shipments will be sent over to you on a regular basis, and that gives you a little bit of a discount, and your supplement facts are always broken down over here. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys have an awesome day. And again, check out that link. It's pinned in the top comment below in this video. Peace out.